Good morning, hockey fans. This is Steven Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victorious Hockey Company, and the Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. This is the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more. Satellite TV. Today is Tuesday, January 24, 2023. Very special day in the Heisler house. Today's show topic, one-way street of college commitments. First, we need to get to some house cleaning. Not the most important thing of the day, but it's probably second. Toronto beat the Islanders 5-2 last night. That's good news. Got to be happy with that. That's important. What else do we have today? Something very important. This is like maybe twice a year you're going to get this special treat from me. I'm not really the person that you want to hear singing unless I'm backing up a bus.
Twice a year.
I don't. Well, yeah, I got to sing more for that, but not on air. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tomasito. Happy birthday to you. That was horrible. Horrible. Tommy's birthday. If you see us on the road, most likely you're going to see Tomas. If we're doing something somewhere else, going on in the country, you'll see us. You'll hear about him on the show 5 days a week. He's the producer, Mr. Producer, at 15 years old. You get a chance today, swing by Facebook, say hello, comment on his birthday. He'll feel embarrassed. That's something dad's got to do when your son's 15. You got to embarrass him. Today was no exception. So yesterday, we kind of put the final nail in the coffin of a settlement with the USPHL. That was nice after about a month of dealing with the law firm of Cole Schatz. And then today, I got hit with another one because that's what happens. Legal threats. Today's legal threat was or is in regard to the show, the Junior Hockey Discussion Group, and I guess we have a monopoly now. It's not fair that we don't really allow other advisors to be in our discussion group. I don't know why that's a problem. They can start their own group, but there it is. So now a group of advisors are going to file a suit against me if I don't let them in. Why would I do that? I don't know if Facebook is going to fold under pressure and make this group a public group. I hope not, but we'll see what happens. So there's that today. So, USHL news. USHL's player of the week for this past week, week 17. Let's see if I can get through these names without butchering them. We got William Whitelaw from Youngstown, Ren Mork from Sioux City, Jacob Fowler from Youngstown. USHL made it easy, Tommy. Nothing really major there. No games on the schedule for yesterday or today. Same thing for the North American Hockey League. No games yesterday or today. And they announced their divisional stars of the week presented by Bauer Hockey. Calvin Hansen, forward, Bismarck Bobcats. Michael Young, forward, New Jersey Titans. Very good. Here we have a curveball. Luke Lewandowski, forward, Wisconsin Wendigo. Wisconsin really had their way with Fairbanks over the weekend. 3 games. What in the world is this? You want to try this?
Sure.
You want to try it? What name is that?
Which one? The Luke?
This one.
Which one?
Gurgly? Gurgly?
Gurgly or Roz?
That can't be his name. Gurgly. Maybe it is. Oraz. But you got the Oraz down. We know that name. Goaltender, Odessa Jackalopes. All right, someone got to tell me how to pronounce that kid's name. Dursley? Looks like gurgly, doesn't it? I'm going to get arrested again. Odessa police will come to find me. All right, let's get into today's topic. One-way street of college commitments. This is an article written today. Well, was it written today? It was written last year or so. It's on highsoccer.com, but it was requested that we do a show about this to break it down a little more. Here's the show. Junior hockey programs have a way of treating college commitments like a badge of honor. We see it every day. We see each league claim their hundreds of college commitments. Why? This is done to help influence the decision process of young hockey players and their families. Yes, junior hockey leagues and teams will use kids that might have been through their team one time, or in the case of some teams, a club had teams at the Chowder Cup, kid dressed a few times. Oh, he's one of our prospects. All those prospects that go to college, that team counts as a commitment. It's really a pile of poop, but that's what it is. The truth about college commitments is very simple. Anything before the senior year of high school is a verbal commitment. What does that mean? Really nothing. Kid verbally commits to a school. It's one way. Before anything is signed, either the player or school can walk away from that original agreement, leaving a player or a coach in a bad position. We're seeing that right now with the University of Colorado's football team. A lot of kids are going into the portal, transferring to Colorado, making college football really look more like pro football. A free-for-all. There was a Detroit area player who received a college commitment from one of the Eastern schools back when he was 16. And the new coach of the school did not honor it. The player was rated high as a young prospect, even drafted into the USHL, where he played for a few years. However, he never really developed into the player that college was hoping he would, so they understandably did not honor the commitment. Was that wrong? I think the whole system's wrong. Hockey is one of the few sports where players leave home to play junior hockey for a few years with the purpose of development before entering college. And that is the issue. How do you gauge where a 16-year-old is going to be at age 20 or 19? You don't. So why are these schools and really junior programs doing this so early? At the major junior level, they draft out of Bantams. They have to make a guess. What kind of athlete is that player going to be later on? They look at the parents. How big is your mom? How big is your dad? Your mom doesn't matter so much. How big is your mom's dad? There you go. All those things count when they're selecting players out of the Bantam draft. The best available player is usually who they draft. And this is not the case for college. College doesn't draft players. They kind of begin to show interest early. And for hockey, it's very difficult because these kids, again, are all usually playing at least 2 years of junior hockey before going into college. So in this case, all the college freshmen from hockey are generally not true freshmen as far as age is concerned. These players are usually 19 to 21 years old and have played a few years or more at the junior level. Most junior teams and leagues use college commitments as an advertising tool to proclaim the success of their program. And that is the problem. We understand that's where most players and their families, that there's the real gauge of development for tier 2 junior hockey. It's how many kids are getting to school. And folks need to look at not only how many kids are getting to school, but how many games those kids are playing when they get there. And that's been a huge issue along the East Coast with the non-sanctioned hockey groups. They're getting commitments, but now those are even farther apart and fewer. Should a player that never actually played a game for that junior team be listed as a commitment on the junior team's website? We've seen that with teams playing in the summer. That doesn't make sense. But teams do it. Coaches do it. It may sound funny, but we see it all the time. We know one junior coach that used his short-term employment as a college coach back in the 70s as the basis for his entire junior program for years. It doesn't make any sense. The guy had 2 years at Division I in the 70s, and he's still rocking that pedigree in 2020. His connection to college hockey now is nothing, but yet he's still utilizing that branding, the former Division I coach. So that needs to stop. Junior hockey leagues and NCAA should work together to protect the integrity of the recruiting process. Goodness gracious, right now it's a disaster, right? And the idea of the incoming freshman being the impact player is not really there anymore, is it? With all this transferring going on, the portal going on. The college game has completely changed. And the transfer portal has turned really second-tier colleges, D2 college, D3 colleges, into junior programs. They're the ones developing younger prospects, and those kids are transferring later on. Let's just say it now. The baloney verbal commitments should be eliminated. Let's force each college to actually sign the player for whatever deal they're willing to offer at the correct age they are allowed. So maybe a kid at 19 and 20, he's the one being signed to college deals. Let's end the verbal stuff. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't carry any weight anymore. Maine, if you look at their incoming freshman list for next year, it's ridiculous. University of Maine. 25 plus freshmen? Is that what the number was? How's that going to work out? It doesn't. Those guys are great recruiters. And now they're just filling the school with new students. Those kids aren't all going to make the roster. It's ludicrous. But that's where we are now. Maine does it because they don't know who's going to transfer out. So ultimately, it means we're going to have so many more players committed early to Division I. They get to school for that first semester. Hey, there's 10 other players in my position. We're never going to get the ice. There's not even enough stalls in the room for all of us. And why did the school do that? Because they don't know who's going to leave. The system is a disaster right now. Let's eliminate some of the problems, and let's stop seeing too many teams committed to colleges that they will never play for. If the schools cannot commit to players until they are in their senior year or their last year of eligibility for junior, then maybe junior programs won't go after younger and younger players. We are seeing a lot of players 16, 17 years old on junior teams. A lot of that has to do with the overall number of available opportunities. A lot of that has to do with AAA cost. It's the cost of AAA is, let's be realistic. It doesn't make any sense to pay $20,000, $25,000 a year, $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year for a prep school when you can pay less than $10,000 to play in the NA3HL. So teams and players and parents are looking at the economics of the situation, the reality of where they are, and they realize, you know what, I really can't afford to pay that much money, and tier 3 junior makes more sense for my family economically. We're seeing a lot of that. That's something we need to address as a sport. And either lower the price of AAA, take AAA completely out of the authority of the Youth Council for USA Hockey and bring it under its own body. Let's take AAA away from the state associations where they can't continue to make a mess of things. I mean, right now, that's what's happening. AAA hockey has become a nightmare for the common family. Let's be honest, 95% of the families in the United States cannot afford to play AAA hockey. That's not right. We're losing a lot of athletes. So Tier 3 Junior A is a route for some of these kids. It doesn't make any sense. The NCAA does a great job with everything they do to give the student athlete an exceptional college experience. I believe that. This is one area that we believe is misleading the parents and players. Because of the numbers, kids are getting to school and it's not what they expected. The academics is on point. That's it. The hockey's not. When they get there, the opportunity they thought they had, the promise they thought they had, they realized was nothing more than the availability to go to a preseason tryout camp. They could do that anywhere. Schools should have to stand behind their end of the commitment and do most of the time. But the system right now is so weighted towards the universities to become a joke. It's not easy for a family to pay to go to school and then get there in September and realize that I went to the wrong school. Guess what? They're kind of stuck there for the whole semester now, aren't they? Players are recruited, enrolled, and are locked in when the coach can jump at any moment without any repercussions. We're seeing a lot of that. Kids are there, tuition's paid, coach is gone. With the transfer portal now in full effect, we talked about this earlier, kids can jump. But it's usually going to be at the semester, either at the end of the semester or at the end of the year. Still makes it a mess. If a player decides to leave school for another school or for major junior or professional hockey before the end of his agreement, he should be on the hook for every dime the college invested in him. Maybe that's what should happen. Maybe these athletes should be committed and sign, hey, I'm going to commit to you. I'm going to come play for your school. But if I decide to transfer, I got to pay you for all the money you've spent on me. That makes sense. That'll stop a lot of this baloney. And that should be the rule that applies to the entire spectrum of NCAA sports. The college portal, transfer portal has been good for some kids, but the problem goes back to the schools. These commitments and these promises are not being kept. And they become not as valuable as the paper is written on, except for the parents are paying. The school has nothing to lose. And unless they're giving out free money, and let's be honest, a lot of these times, especially for hockey, like the parents are footing the bill. The kids are footing the bill. Massive student loan debt, we're seeing that. So as a system and as an educated hockey parent that most of you are becoming in this process, you're learning from those that came before you, especially in our discussion group. Let's make smarter decisions. When we talk to players about hockey, about college hockey, I asked them to pick 5 schools from the Division I level and the D3 level that best suit what they're thinking vocationally. Because the reality is almost every one of these kids 5 years after graduation is going to be playing the same level of men's league hockey, if that. So the most important part about going to school isn't the hockey. It's the school. It's the education. It's your plan B. And really, it's your plan A. So these are things that you got to think about before going to school. Now, we see because of the COVID situation that we have some older players that have graduated and then they transferred to another school because they had another year of eligibility. One of our defensemen that was at the University of Minnesota Duluth did that, and now he's at AIC. And that was a smart decision for him. He had already graduated. He got his degree. So that makes sense. But in normal cases, and we're not going to have COVID every other year again, I don't hope not. I don't want no COVID 35 or something like that, but I'll be gone by then probably. These things make sense. But kids, pick a school based on what they offer you for your education. Pick a smart degree program that is going to be able to pay for itself. Don't pick up gender studies. I mean, listen, that's an easy degree. There's a male. Oh, I'm not going to say that. I cannot say that. Not on TV. I'll get canceled. Can't be canceled before I even start. Be smart in your degree selection. Think about paying back your student loans, or how about this new one? Paying back your parents. Whoa, what a concept. Think about those things when selecting your field of study. How are you going to pay for school? You know, there are programs out there. We talk about Cyber Corps. We talk about kids going into military service, picking a degree field that gives them the opportunity to work in the public sector, that allows them to get student loan forgiveness later on, the real kind, because you're actually working in the public sector somewhere. And those are all opportunities that will pay for your school. But certainly, please don't pick the school based on the coach, based on the colors, how strong their Division I program is or how weak it is. Pick a school based on what it does for you academically. That's smarter than just say, hey, kids, I'm D1 or I'm done. I see it all the time. Don't go there. Don't be that kid. Don't be that parent. Don't support that kind of mentality, because in the end, it's self-destructing. What do you think, Tommy? Sound familiar? I guess so. All right, folks. 22 minutes today. Tomorrow, we'll do If I Were King. And I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about the Mid-City Stars tomorrow. North American 3 Hockey League. And their entire existence right now is in jeopardy. A little bit of a mess in New Mexico on Saturday or Sunday. So we'll talk about that tomorrow in the If I Were King article, I think. Pretty sure. Until tomorrow, we hope that you